All right, let's talk about AI consulting, but probably not in the way you're thinking. You'd assume it's all about super complex algorithms and shiny new tech, right? Well, what if I told you the single most important rule of AI consulting is that it's got nothing to do with the AI? It all boils down to this one core idea that kind of flips everything on its head. AI consulting is not about selling technology. It's not your job to push the latest, greatest model on a client just because it's new.
So, that raises the obvious question, doesn't it? If it's not about the tech, then what in the world is it about? What are businesses actually paying for when they hire an AI consultant?
And the answer, believe it or not, is a classic. It's a concept you've definitely heard of, but maybe not applied in this way: the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, you're seeing that right. A successful AI project is a whopping 80% good old-fashioned business consulting, and only about 20% is the actual technical stuff. Let that sink in. The vast majority of your work is just understanding the business, its problems, and its goals way before you even think about writing a single line of code.
So that brings us to the first and maybe the most important skill you've got to master. It sounds ridiculously simple, but it is the foundation for absolutely everything else. You have to listen before you leap. Imagine you walk into that first client meeting. Your instinct is going to be to start talking about all the amazing things AI can do. You have to fight that urge. Your number one job, right then and there, is just to listen. That's it. Getting this right from the start is how you avoid a total mess of misaligned expectations later on.
So what are you listening for exactly? You're not asking about data centers or cloud platforms. No, you're asking about the business. What are the big picture goals here? Where do things get stuck? What does a win actually look like to the people in charge? What does this idea of transformation really mean to them? These are the questions that get you to the heart of the matter.
Okay, so once you've done your listening, the next phase is all about a huge mental shift. It's about how you frame the entire conversation. It's time to stop talking about tech and start connecting AI to actual value. This is the absolute core of it. You have to stop pitching AI features. Honestly, nobody really cares about the name of the algorithm or the architecture of the model. What you need to do is connect AI directly to creating value. This is how you go from being seen as just another tech vendor to becoming a trusted advisor.
And here's another really powerful way to reframe the conversation. The default question is always, so what data do you have? A much better question is, what decisions are you struggling to make right now? See the difference? That immediately focuses everything on solving a real business problem, not just playing with data for the sake of it.
So the key is you've got to speak the language of business. You need to frame all your ideas around the outcomes that leaders actually care about. We're talking about things like cutting costs, boosting efficiency, driving real growth, or making the customer experience way better. That's the language that gets a yes.
And here's a really practical tool to bring it all together, a business opportunity map. Just look at how clear this is. You take a business process, like customer support. You name the challenge, high call volume. You suggest a potential AI fix, like a chatbot for triage, and then, this is the magic part, you state the expected impact in business terms. Reduce wait times by 40%. Now that makes AI feel real and valuable.
Okay, great. So you've listened, you've connected AI to real-world business value, so what's next? The last step in this whole foundational phase is to make it official and clearly define the engagement. And the best way to do that is with a simple but incredibly powerful document, a one-page consulting charter. The goal here isn't to write a novel. It's all about clarity. It's about making sure everyone, from the tech team to the CEO, is on the exact same page before a single dollar is spent. So what goes into this one-pager? Just 4 key things. First, define the scope. Be crystal clear on what problem you are solving and, just as important, what you are not solving. Second, set the approach. Is this just a quick look or a full-blown implementation? Third, establish a timeline. And fourth, maybe the most critical of all, agree on the success metrics. How will we know with actual numbers if we've won?
And why is this so critical? Well, this quote really says it all. Without it, projects drift. With it, both you and the client are working toward the same outcome. This single piece of paper is your best weapon against confusion, scope creep, and a project that goes off the rails.
So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. The real secret to doing AI consulting right isn't hidden in some complex code. It's about getting the business foundation rock solid first. Everything, and I mean everything, flows from there.
Which leads us to a really interesting final thought. So you've done all this hard work. You've aligned everyone on the what and the why. You have a real business problem to solve. But that just gets you to the starting line of the next big hurdle. Is your client's data even ready for what you're about to do? Something to chew on.